How long gone? It's a beautiful sunny day here in New York, Jason. You know, the temperature is chilly, but the vibe is high because of the sunshine. It sounds like Hawaii to me.
Yeah, except it's the temperature is not chilly here. It is sizzling, but you know the sunburn, helps keep things bad.
Okay, how are we doing? Was it hard to sleep last night? Is it that bad?
No.
Okay. I've had one of those. I've had one that I probably should have sought medical attention.
Whoa.
And did not. A long time. I mean, this is a long time ago. I was just...
You were only this many?
Yeah, I wish it was that. I wish it was that young, but no. But I just roasted. It was in Jamaica. This is when I was like 24 maybe, and I was like, sunscreen, I don't need that shit. That's pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely like couldn't shower. Like I had to like lower myself slowly into a cold bathtub to clean my body. I learned my lesson since, and I love sunscreen now. I embrace it fully.
Not me. I think it's the devil. It feels wrong and evil.
Well,
but
you have an Asian wife, so I don't know how you get away with that because the Asian community loves sunscreen and staying out of the sun, maybe more than anyone.
Yeah, but there's different I don't want to get into this right now at 6:45 in the morning, but there's levels to this Asian shit, and certain countries.
They embrace it more than others.
Yes.
Okay, sure. That's fair. I think that's fair. I don't mean to generalize.
Just like Jamaica is to the Americas, we've got island rhythms and we've got mainland rhythms. You know what I mean? We've got the South Korean auntie who wears a sleeve over the arm while they're driving.
That's my favorite.
And a full face mask. David Cho's aunt is wearing the full thing, and then we got other Thailand.
Sure, they're roasted,
fresh off of White Lotus. Yeah, they're
roasted.
Embrace a more tan culture. They're outside a lot more.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I do think of how many times I've looked over in LA driving down the street and see someone looking like they're almost in some sort of sweat wicking hazmat suit to prevent the sun that's coming through the tent of their Lexus. But it is.
Why it gotta be a Lexus, Chris? Come on.
I'm just saying. But that's a fun protection. The level of protection seems extreme. But people look great. It works. So, I can't really fault anyone for it.
Yeah. I mean, the parts of my body that are normally always exposed, that's totally fine. You know what I mean? My arms and legs. But then once it's like the upper inner thigh.
Sure. How's the TJ bird chest looking?
It's pink. It's looking
okay.
It's looking medium rare.
You're saying the bird chest is a red robin if it were.
I am saying that, Chris. I am saying that. The only real debilitating thing, putting on a wife beater is really tricky. It kind of feels like a bunch of little daggers or like some type of, jellyfish got me. And then since like the armpit is the least sun exposed part of your body, regardless of how, your taint and your armpits, your body naturally shields that area from the light just in terms of the way shadows and gravity work and everything like that. But so every time I lift my arm up, you can feel the little crease. You almost feel like the skin is just going like.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. Well, I'm praying for you, and hopefully you got some after sun or maybe some cold aloe vera.
Oh, the hotel comes with a big bottle of After Cool gel.
That's nice.
Yeah, you're not supposed to drink it, but I've resorted to that.
One more Mai Tai for me, please. No, I'll put my own creamer in it. Don't worry, I've got my own creamer. Don't worry about it.
No, I'll be fine after this. We're gonna go hit the beach and then. Get some dope-ass poke from a liquor store that locals only go to.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I've heard about that.
And then hit the spa, and I'm just going to do cold mist for 2 hours. You already know what it is.
We're gonna cool it back down.
I'm good.
I need to give a quick recap of the Graydon book party last night because it's the first time I've been in a room in a long time where I felt like I brought the age down. But I also brought down the gross median income. It was the richest people I've ever been. I was starstruck by, like, Barry Diller walked by, and I was completely starstruck. I was like, damn, this is the GOAT. Like, yeah.
What are Barry Diller stands called?
Great question.
Dildos.
Dildos. All right, the dildos were me, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
But it was at this like performing arts center next to the World Trade Center, like the Condé Nast office, and it's basically because Bloomberg hosts it. I guess Bloomberg has this policy about wearing name tags. So you walked in the door.
Is the policy never wear name tags?
No, it's
or
everyone wears name tags. And so every single person was wearing a name tag. And I have to say, it looks lame as hell and it's going to ruin all the photos, but it was pretty sick to like be able to see, you know?
Well, I know that you're famously anti all of that. So it took a room this powerful to humble you and to shut your little ass up. Because you won't even wear
That's true.
a backstage pass to your own live show. You won't even wear a wristband to get on stage at your own performance.
I do hate that. You're right. I won't. This felt more clinical and sort of like educate. It felt like we were at like a college course or something. So maybe the foreignness of it all felt good to me.
Sure.
But anyway, Michael Bloomberg gave a speech, and Martha Stewart was there. Christine Baranski was there. There was a bunch of. It was like a very.
So this was to celebrate his book.
It came out yesterday officially, I believe. So it was it was a real who's who in this building of people that live above 70th Street and are touching, not 100 million, but maybe 80.
Sure. What are the chances that we're going to get Graydon on the pod again to talk about his new book?
I definitely don't think he would do that. I don't think he has any interest. First of all, I don't think he remembers doing this, and if his memory was jogged, I think it would be negative.
Like he would agree to do it and then remember who we were, and then
then get on and be like, wait a second, no, I'm not doing this.
He would say, "Dead that sis."
Maybe not. I mean, maybe not. But I also he did Anderson Cooper. I mean, he's leveled up. I'm just appreciative that he fit us in at all, to be honest.
Sure.
So I'll take that. But yeah, it was a very funny, fun party.
Okay.
And Michael Bloomberg gave a speech that was very, how do I say? He was trying to be funny, and sometimes that worked. But I wonder if he wrote it himself.
Sounds like a speech.
What do you think? What do you think, though?
I mean, I don't know anything about Michael Bloomberg. I've never really heard him speak, so I got no real insight onto this. Let me Google him right now to double check what his face looks like. Yeah, I've never heard him talk in my entire life. He looks like one of the least funny people that was ever born.
Exactly. So maybe he got caught.
And he's also 83 years old and has over $100 billion. So the chances of him
the chances of humor are low. Very low. Let me
see. I'm gonna. I love that he's on Instagram and we have 11 mutuals. Who the fuck? Who are all these people following Michael Bloomberg? Jamie Oliver. Okay.
Like I feel like it could be like weird New York. I mean, he's a legend here, for better or worse, but I just,
Sure. Shout out to the god. He looks like he wears kind of cool clothes, though, for a guy of his age.
I just cannot believe that he has that much money.
Do you think he'll add me on LinkedIn?
I think it's possible that his third assistant would add you on LinkedIn. I don't think that's out of the question.
Okay, bet. Yeah, what was I doing? Yeah, we were at the beach yesterday. And we were watching some local dudes playing spike ball.
Of course.
Are you familiar with spike ball?
That's very popular at southern beaches as well.
Yeah, these were definitely people from the South.
Got it.
It was two regular guys, one guy who wouldn't take his shirt off, the fat guy, and then the skinny guy who's an asshole. So it was like the quintessential four top of southern kind of post-college dudes. They're playing the spike ball. And I noticed it was the most southern dude thing of all time, and I want to know if this is something that speaks to you. But they had no problem saying the word retard, but they would say bull crap instead of bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
That is a very interesting observation. I would say that.
Like they won't say the word shit.
Yeah,
they won't cuss in public.
But I think that's the thing. I think technically retard, although offensive and stupid, is not a cuss word technically. And I think that is the kind of loopholes that Southern people are looking for, so that they don't have to wash away their sins.
But these are cuss words for you and I. We play in the social norms of what we're going to offend our fellow human beings, and that's how we choose our language. Whereas they are only being judged in the eyes of Jesus Christ, right? So in their mind, Jesus has no problem with saying something so offensive as calling somebody a retard, but then they would never say the SHIT word.
I don't think it's that. I wish it was that clear and thought about, but I think it's really like there's a core group of cuss words, and if things fall within that group, then that's how they're classified, and if they fall outside of that group, then they are free to go. Let's say.
Tell me more about this core group of cuss words, please. I'm curious.
the core group is obviously shit, fuck, damn, ass. I think that's it. Really, I think that's the starting five.
There was the George Carlin bad words.
I don't watch comedy that people like Mark Maron talk about, so I'm not familiar.
It's the 7 words you can't say on TV: shit, piss, fuck, cunt, balls, prick, and ass.
Well, balls, prick, and ass you can definitely say on TV now. It's not a problem.
Yeah. This was
things
from
have changed. Yeah, this is from the
1978.
70s. Yeah. But the cunt is a great example. Cunt is a word that is considered very offensive, especially outside of the UK, and it's not technically a cuss word. You know what I mean? In my book, it's not technically a cuss word. I don't know about you.
In your book, it is not a cuss word. What is a cuss word?
Just like I said, shit, fuck, damn, ass. Those are the top 4 dead or alive cuss words. And
ass.
Fuck's number one. Fuck's number one because it's probably the most divisive. But cunt doesn't make the cut. I don't know. I'm sorry. And shout out to all our British people. All right, we have a guest today. I'm sure she loves cuss words. Sophie Kemp is a writer. Her book, Padadise Logic, I think comes out today, actually. Mm-hmm. And she also has written several legendary Pitchfork album reviews, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it with her today.
Okay. Let's give her a Zoom-y.
Okay. Sophie, thank you for joining us. I want to talk about some of your artwork just because I'm seeing 2 prominent pieces of art. If you could explain, one looks to be Russian propaganda over your right shoulder. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so just to get this out of the way, you are part of the Kremlin then?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely like a Kremlin operative. That's why I live in Prospect Lefferts Gardens.
Yeah, of course. That's a known kind of hub for your type.
What is it though for real?
Yeah.
My dad like went to Moscow in the 80s before the end of the
before the Tate brothers
Soviet
rose
Union.
to prominence.
It was like really cheap to go there. He was like living in Dublin and just like bought a bunch of like Soviet propaganda for like whatever the currency was there, but like basically for free.
Sure. That's so there's a nice origin story there. Your dad, like Jason said, your dad helped raise the Tate brothers, and then he kind of came back and helped you, which is nice. And what do
back when Moscow was Moscow, brother, okay?
when you could really get pissed on in a hotel room, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
What is what is to the left here? Is that a calendar of sorts?
Yeah, it's like I was like really dissociating and on Instagram and like saw that this like hot Instagram model was selling like nude calendars of herself, and I was like, yeah, I want that.
That's actually really cool. That's really, really cool because it looked like it could be streetwear adjacent, like a Supreme or like Sneeze magazine. But you're saying it's just a classic influencer.
No,
nude.
I think she's like a cool model, but I like could not tell you who it is because I was like really dissociated.
If you put the zoom lens right closer, we could probably figure it out, sweetheart.
Jason might know. But Jason,
I'm trying to pinch to zoom.
Oh wow, this is great. Okay, so Prospect. How do you say it again? I've never said that.
Prospect Leopard's Garden.
I've never said that out loud. I've only seen it.
It's not like a real place to live.
What goes on there? Is it near the park?
Yeah, I live like a 5-minute walk from Prospect Park. It's basically like Park Slope for people who are like a little more middle class.
Okay, and you're saying Park Slope is upper class.
Yeah, I couldn't afford to live there.
Okay. Even though you're a published author and an educator, you're saying that
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment alone. I have like really high standards for like what's going to work for me.
Okay. Sure. Well, I like that's a good quality to have, I would say overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have one room for sleeping, and then what is the other room?
It's like a 1.5 bedroom. Like I have like an office basically.
Okay.
Your podcast studio.
Yeah, this is my beat lab.
Your B lab. This is kind of my media room.
Yeah.
It's my media room. I kind of if you want to come back to my place, we can watch. I have a big screen, like it's in the media room. If you want to come back to my place,
That's okay.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes. I've been reading your book on the beach. It's a fucked up thing to read on the beach in Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii right now.
You're in Hawaii reading my book. That's so cool. Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But then when I realized like I'm a grown adult man, and then the cover of it makes it look like I'm reading like kind of YA anime porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With the hardback, you can take off the dusk jacket.
Yeah,
You can kind of
it's
disguise.
it's a sand jacket where I live. But yeah, something like
But
that.
yeah, when you're on Delta 39C and your neighbor looks over, he might think you guys are on the same Reddit or something.
Yeah, that you're reading like like kind of like an anime book for teens.
Yeah, but it has a little more like fan fiction. Like, is this person gonna fuck an animal? Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It wades into the waters of bestiality, but in like an innocent way. So, what are your meals? I feel like you have an interesting meal regimen.
Well, I'm like doing like book press right now, and like everyone really wants to treat me. So I've actually had 3 steaks in the past week.
Okay, so protein is high. All right.
Protein is high.
Josephine Rogan over here, go off.
Trying to bulk up for spring.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna get gout.
Great motivator to finish a book. All of our listeners out there who are on the fence, they're having a hard time. Once that thing comes out, you're eating 3 steaks a week.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fucking teen.
What steakhouses have you been to, or is this just more at a brasserie that offers steak frite?
For sure, that's a really good question. Well, I was just in Paris with my boyfriend, and he bought a Côte de Boeuf. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like this big, and
Yeah,
he was
sure.
like, you need to eat that. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I did that. And then like my best friend bought me a steak at Funny Bar.
Okay.
They have that there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would eat a steak from Funny Bar.
It actually was really good. I was
Funny
like, kind
Bow.
of like really shocked by the fact that it tasted like a steak and not like some kind of like mystery meat.
Okay.
It wasn't a prank steak.
It was actually like really good steak, and the fries
Okay,
were like
good.
they tasted like from McDonald's, which was kind of like my main barometer for whether or not fries are
Sure.
good.
That's top fry. I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah, and then my editor took me to French Chat last night, so I had a steak
Okay.
there.
Damn.
Wow, you really have been on a world tour.
It's
of
cheaper
eating.
to fly to Paris and order the Côte de Boeuf than to just go to Frenchette.
Yeah, the Côte de Boeuf that I had in Paris was cheaper than the like fucking like this this size.
No, I'm including the flight cost and hotel as well into the
Totally.
Frenchette.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pay for any of these steaks, but for sure.
Proud of you.
That's good. So, but if you're left to your own devices, is it saltines and Gatorade, or you'll buy yourself a steak?
Yeah, what level of tin fish are you eating?
Yeah, you look like you eat
I
10
don't-
fish.
I don't do that shit.
Hell yeah. I knew you were my kind of chick. You said no to 10 fish. That's for losers.
Yeah, I'm a Parks Love Food Co-op member though, so I am just like kind of like, okay, I'm gonna make lentils for dinner.
Okay. Okay. Jason, are you familiar with the Park Slope Food Co-op and the lore around it as a Los Angeles resident?
I mean, I know
You can get the gist.
I can get the gist, but what specifically about this location has the lore pumping?
Well, there's been over the years lots of drama about, I think, certain rich people and celebrities sending their staff to pick up the shifts at the co-op.
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal was kind of accused of that,
Which is like,
pretty famously.
that is the brokest thing you could get mad about. Getting mad about that is so broke behavior. I can't believe it. Who cares?
Look, the co-op needs her to be. I mean, I guess Maggie's not really doing that much right now, but like she's better. She's a more important asset doing, making TV shows than working the cash register at the. So I've never known anything about co-ops. You have to work there sometimes?
You have to, if you're a member, you're a worker. So you have to work there every 6 weeks.
It's like jury duty. All this for some fucking dirty rutabagas?
It is, yeah. And like you're I'm like in the basement, like I feel like I'm in the gulag, like literally cutting like cheddar cheese for like 4.5 hours.
We're going back to Russia. Fuck it.
Like wearing a hairnet.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I would never in a million years do this. I think it's the craziest thing on earth that people do this. Like, just go buy your vegetables. You can afford it. I know you can. But do you like the sense of community, or do you like or do you like faking like you're working class?
I went to Oberlin College is my honest answer.
Okay.
So I have like Stockholm syndrome.
It's your duty.
Yeah.
You're like, look, bro, I'm born into this. I don't fucking know what to tell you.
I know. Those are the mean streets I walk on.
Is it possible to not work at a co-op? I have no idea.
Do you? Okay, so when you're chopping cheese in the basement with a hairnet on, what are some of the other? Because I'm sure the tasks rotate. So what other tasks are kind of your favorites, let's say?
My favorite one is actually the cutest one, which is helping old people carry their groceries to their brownstones.
Okay, all right. Leave some pussy for the rest of us, okay? Relax.
When you do that, what's the over under on them giving you a little tip for that help?
They would never give you a tip, and you would never ask that.
Because they're
It's
old?
not like Publix. It's not like Publix. No, because it's a co-op. Everybody's a member.
Co-op. Everyone is a member. Everyone is a worker, unless you're retired, which happens at some point.
Retired from the co-op or retired from regular working?
Retired from the co-op. Like if you're like over 65, you don't like have to work
Okay,
anymore.
so if the AARP magazine comes in the mail, then you don't
have to.
You don't have to wash lettuce in the basement.
What are the upsides of the co-op? Is what I would
Great
like
question,
to know.
Jason. Great question.
Farmers market, quality produce for an unbeatable price.
Okay, I knew that was going to be your answer.
Okay, do you have to pay for a membership as well as the food?
You have to pay like $100 like one time.
Oh, okay.
It's like an REI lifetime
Okay.
membership type thing.
I can wrap my head around
It's
that.
like it's a really good
Can
deal.
you use
I
Rocket
like it.
Money to cancel your co-op subscription?
Exactly.
Can you use Klarna?
Yeah, you could definitely use Klarna.
Yeah, probably.
That would be really cool if the co-op partnered with Klarna for membership.
3 more months and this borscht is paid off.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something, how often, I've never talked to someone who's actually done this before, so sorry I'm being so inquisitive. How often do you have to pick up a shift, as they say, in the working business?
It's like every 6 weeks, but you can also bank them. So like I've banked a lot of shifts. Like you can like do a bunch of shifts in 1 week, so you like don't have to do them for a while, which is like what I did, because I was like, I do not want to have to be like fucking cutting cheese when I'm like on like doing like my like glamorous like press run for my book.
Sure. Okay. Smart. So do you?
Did you make sure to tell everybody why you're banking them?
No, I just said that it was because of the election.
And everyone there said, "Say no more."
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
perfect
because
excuse.
I did it in November.
Well,
so
the thing
I was
about
like,
the
you know.
parks, the co-op, all those people have written books. That's the problem. They're not impressed by that. That's what they do for a living
Yeah.
too. So they're more interested in hating Donald Trump is a better reason not to get out of bed.
Yeah,
for those
exactly.
people, for sure.
Well, I guess speaking of books, I was reading a little bit of the LA review of your book, and they said
That was a wordy one.
I know, right? I think I have my morning Kona coffee Java blend, macadamia nut roast.
Oh, that's nice.
But it called your book "A Bleak Assessment of the Landscape for Heterosexual Women," and one that seems to match your own. And that's sort of a subject that we've been talking about, or I've been talking about a little bit. I know a lot of chicas who are awesome, beautiful, talented, not psycho, good job, good sense of humor, but there's no more dudes left for them to date. Do you find this to be a similar landscape in your life? I mean, you said you have a boyfriend now, but maybe pre-boyf?
I don't know. I guess I was like single like for a while. Like most of the time I was working on my book.
By choice, I'm sure. By choice.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't have a boyfriend, but like I don't know. I feel like the like bleak the bleak part is like not necessarily that like there's like not enough dick. It's like a more like nefarious like other thing, like the ways in which like people treat each other in romantic relationships.
Yeah, I would agree. Lack of dick is.
I
not
said
a problem.
good dick, not just dick. There's plenty of it. But I mean, I don't mean like that in the physical, sexual way, but just like, do you find that there is a shortage of eligible heterosexual men in America?
I think there probably is. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't seem like it's good right now.
I think it depends on what you consider eligible. I think that is if you
We all have different levels of standards.
yeah, everybody's eligible is different. You know what I mean? Like that's but I think that this is grossly overstated but I think it's like a talking point now that has been like examined maybe too much. Because who can say if it's really true or not? You know?
Yeah,
it's like
agree.
it's like the crisis of masculinity. It's like, who's to say? Like, I don't know.
It's like maybe it's a crisis for some people, but also a lot of people are just like everything's like fine. Like I just like have a girlfriend, I play Halo, like everything's great.
Exactly. That's what that's literally what I mean. I'm like,
is it similar to long COVID, Chris?
I do have long COVID, Sophie. I'm suffering from long COVID.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know this. I don't know this for sure, but I had a pesky cough that wouldn't leave for like 3 weeks. So I'm now immunocompromised. I just wanted you to know that.
I had really bad COVID a couple years ago, and then after that happened, I like didn't enjoy smoking cigarettes anymore. So I always have felt like that was like.
Did it lead you to quit?
I mean, I was never really a smoker. I was just like somebody who would like have a cigarette after a martini.
Okay.
No, I don't do that anymore.
So you're just vaping now only.
I don't vape. That's just like that's for like 14-year-olds.
And many of our listeners.
Yeah. Don't
Jason,
worry,
vaping
actually,
is cool.
Jason, we have an advertisement on this podcast now for Lucy, which is like a Zen type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, I got an email today from someone saying not cool that we had that advertisement, and I believe that he literally works for the government to stop smoking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. And I told him,
whoever you are, bro, you would say it's not cool.
I told him this podcast is free. Was my response, and we keep it free for our listeners with thanks to our friends at Lucy.
Delicious Lucy. I can enjoy it on the beach and nobody knows. Enjoy it on the plane. It's fine.
I could see you having some nicotine tucked in your bottom lip, Sophie. Get a little high going.
I don't do that.
You like to get high though, don't you?
I'm like kind of like a prude about drugs. I don't know. I don't have an imperfect. There's nothing wrong with me.
Come on, Queen. Don't fuck with us.
So you're
like
saying
that.
to me that you run in these literary circles, you're not doing a little bit of cocaine on the weekends? I don't believe it.
I don't like there was definitely a time, but I found that like nose drugs kind of make me suicidal, so I don't do them.
That's okay. That's a pretty good okay. Look, I get it. That's a fair reason not to do it. And it
sounds
also
like a faint song. But also you are one of those people who are like, I don't do drugs, I am drugs. In so many ways, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I just feel like one of my friends said that he thinks that I have a slow drip of the DMT that comes out of your brain when you die, like just all the time.
Bloop.
All right,
Bloop.
so the DMT is in you, you can't put it in. There's already
I
enough.
don't need any more of it.
So like most of us, like when Chris dies, he will have it'll be like when you bite into a Gusher or a Camel Crush or a delicious Lucy's Breaker, a rush of that DMT goes into your mind, a euphoric sensation as you die, but one little bloop bloop for your whole life. For better or for worse. There's pros and cons to that drip, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I definitely feel like like people say I've never done DMT, I don't really feel like that's for me, but they say you see like that entity. I feel like that's like, I don't really that's like kind of always there.
Okay.
The entity is always there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the entity in the room with us now then?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. I don't think we've ever had the entity.
When we're done, send me their so I can tag them on the episode post. Thank you.
We'll be in
I was going to
touch.
say we've never done a podcast with the entity before, but I'm glad that they're here now.
That's what you think, Chris.
I don't want to gender the entity.
That's really woke of you.
Are you wearing a hand-drawn shirt as well?
Yeah, it says party all night.
Okay. All right. Is that a shirt that was given to you, or did you make that shirt?
Nah, I found it on a stoop in Cobble Hill. It's like for a child.
Okay. So you're one of those New Yorkers that picks up trash off the street and makes it their own.
Yeah, but like I also like have really fancy clothes, so like it can go both ways.
You're a high-low chick. All
Yeah,
right.
like I like wear slacks from the row, but like I also have that.
Okay, I love that. I love a high-low mix. My question to you though is,
No wonder you're not single anymore.
Exactly. You got snap. Yeah, men love $1,200 trousers. I'll tell you what. That's what we look for.
No, I mean that's the ultimate. I was talking to
I
Caroline
got
about
mine
this
from
yesterday.
Beacons. I didn't pay a full price for that.
Well, that doesn't
You
count.
want to have? We were literally having this conversation last night. You want to have an expensive row trouser, and then like a shirt like that is a one of a kind piece that nobody else will ever be able to acquire. And then if you're able to make them both work symbiotically, that's where you've reached, fashion singularity.
Yeah.
How did we breeze past the fact that you found those pants at Beacon's Closet? Who is dropping off those at Beacon's Closet?
I don't know. They were like $50.
Yeah, who is happy with the amount of money they give you for a pair of $1,200 pants at Beacon's
That sounds
Closet?
like a DMT addict unloading to get a little more.
Like amazing, like seem to have never been worn, like ever worn, and like fit me perfectly.
How much did you get them for? You said $50.
$50, yeah.
Fuck me in the arse.
I mean, I hate Beacon's Closet is the seventh layer of hell. I can't go into places like that. I can't go into places.
It's really
like that.
horrible.
But that's amazing.
Like,
that's a great find. That's amazing.
Sometimes
that's amazing. That's good.
There. Yeah.
I guess speaking of party all night, I noticed a reference in your book that is in a similar vibe, and it's something that I would like to see also handwritten on a T-shirt that you wear in a Sharpie. The reference was to the Black Eyed Peas song "Don't Funk with My Heart."
Yeah, I love the Black Eyed Peas.
And I would like to see if you could just kind of speak more on what that song means to you, or just that phrase.
I think it's sexy as hell and true. I love the Black Eyed Peas. When I was in middle school, it was the energy never dies era of the Black Eyed Peas. And I'm half Jewish, so that was like at all the bar mitzvahs. So it was just like spiritually really important to me.
So you spent most of your teen years getting retarded.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and could you clarify how the word funk is spelled?
EHUNK.
Thank you.
Where did you grow up? Which part of the Northeast?
I'm from Schenectady, New York.
Oh, I knew that, and I wanted you to, because I can't say that word. I've never been able to say
it. Imagine being like 5 and you have to like learn how to spell your town's name, and that's
Schenectady.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like upstate.
Is that a Jewish joke?
What?
Being 5 and having to learn how to spell your accountant's name?
No, that's what you have to do when you're in elementary school. You like have to spell your town's name.
Did you say elementary?
Yeah, I have an upstate accent.
Elementary.
That's not upstate accent. That is some other
Elementary.
shit. No, that is some other.
Nice grapes. Smoke a cigarette.
That is some. How the whole elementary school? I'm gonna try that again and see if I'm gonna try that in my life and see if I can get away with it, because the answer
I didn't know
is no.
you were a Siciliana. It's beautiful.
I'm not.
Okay, so upstate New York. I was just there for the very first time in December.
Jason, this is a very different upstate New York.
Were you like in Hudson?
Yeah, that's a very different.
When I was a kid, that's like where white people did heroin, and now it's like where gay guys have vacation homes.
That's true. But isn't Schenectady?
Yes, and I loved the cross section of the two.
Isn't Schenectady though a place where people still do heroin, or no?
Yeah, I'm from like the nice part, which is like where like the GER&D is, which is like pretty. But yeah, Schenectady's like kind of always been down on its luck, I would say.
Down on its luck. Wow, you're from a hard scrabble town, is what you're saying.
I'm from the nice part, so no. But yes.
Okay, so when you said no, honey, Hudson is where people used to do heroin, the place that you grew up was worse than that?
I feel like probably the same.
Okay. Lateral move.
Upstate New York is pretty awful.
It's really depressing. Like, it's just like some of the saddest towns you've ever seen.
It's somehow more, even when you go to like South Georgia, which is where I'm from Atlanta, so I've been to South Georgia many times. It's like upstate New York's like a different kind of depressing. It's like a different kind of, I can't explain it. It makes me feel bad.
It's really bleak.
It's bleak. No,
it's bleakiosity. Well, I think post-COVID is what really changed a lot of the, having been there for 2 days in my entire life. Let me speak on your hometown. But I feel like now that everyone is sort of post going out, sheltering in place, loving to stream at home in comfy clothes, the upstate lifestyle has become a lot more intriguing, and it's become, I live here and I go into the city on the weekends versus I live in the city and go upstate on the weekends. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it just like really hasn't affected Schenectady, I would say. But I also feel like my parents basically did that, but they just like did it in the early 90s.
Because how far is it? It's far from the city, though.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours, but my parents are like from New York, so.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So excuse me. Wow, don't flex on us like that. Wait, let me guess. Are your parents intellectuals too?
Yeah, they're really smart, but they're not like, they don't like work in the arts or anything.
They don't think for a living, is what you're saying.
I mean, they kind of do, but like just not in the same way that I do.
Like feral girl summer vibes?
No, they're kind of like normal.
Like feral parent? Okay, good.
That's cool that they're, you can't like talk to them like one of your friends.
No. My parents
like
reading my book was like really an incredibly funny experience for me.
Why did you let them do that?
Well, because they were like, "Oh wow, your book is coming out, and it's like with like a big publisher. Like we have to see like what's going on." And I was like, "No, stop! Don't do that." And then eventually they like forced me to let them read it.
I mean, it's going to happen, of course. You're going to read your kid's book, especially if it is from a prominent publisher, right?
Yeah, especially if it's like a Nympho Sex Memoir.
What was the feedback from Pops on this? Do you think he comprehended it fully?
I think he was like, "There's a lot of sex in that." But also was really proud of me.
Okay.
So
That's good. And you were like, Dad, none of this is pulled from like personal experience. You let him know that up front.
yeah, I was like, "It's a novel."
This is fiction.
Yeah.
All that cum is fake, Dad. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it must be a very freeing feeling. Like I feel like at that point you've reached like true adulthood when you've written a book that graphic and your parents read it and we all can live and wake up the next day and life is normal again versus like, we need to have a talk, Missy. There's like none of that's going on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, my parents like read about all the ass eating in my book and they were like, "Well, can't do anything about this."
Well, all this ass eating, it is what it is, honey. I don't really know what to tell you.
So you're saying the ass eating sections, they're making it in. This is the final copy. And you were like, yes, this is it. This is kind of what we're going to press with.
Yeah.
Before publishing, was there anything that the editor was like, "No, we can't put this in. It's too gnarly," or did it all make it?
Like more or less, it all made it. I feel like the stuff my editor was like, she was like, "We need like she." I love my editor. She was just like her notes that she wanted were just like, "This character is so crazy. Can you like find ways so that way we have any idea what she's actually thinking about?" It wasn't like can you have less anal sex?
It was more of just like, can you make this good instead of can you make this offensive?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's what an editor's for. And you describe yourself as a hardcore sentence freak. Do you like is it more in like the reading sense or
Both?
Or is it more in like the audio? Okay, it's both.
Yeah, like I love Joanna Newsom like so much.
Oh, haven't heard that in a while.
So you're the one.
So don't you think that it's weird that she married Andy Samberg?
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, like they've been together for a while. Like clearly something is working, but I just like don't get it. She should have just like married Bill Callahan.
Well, I would say he's a sentence freak as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, have you seen Jizz in My Pants? There's a lot of bars.
I would say that Dick in the Box stands up against any Joanna Newsom
yeah,
song.
the chronic what coals of Narnia.
I forgot about Chronic What Coals of Narnia. That one, I mean, like I said,
so bad.
Jizz in My Pants
So
is my favorite one, just because I'm a fan of Pet Shop Boys and New Order, so it has a lot of that same kind of.
You feel like it's like kind of doing that for you.
I couldn't hate anything more than that stuff. I hate it. I hate parody songs. I don't think it's funny. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
You don't like Weird Al?
No, it's not funny. Like nothing's funny. That's what I don't understand. I watch all this stand up. I watch all this none of it's
you
funny.
Like Adam Sandler voice? Oh, you like that?
That's the worst. The worst.
I basically agree with you. I don't really support stand up as an art form.
It's not. I watched some last night. I was like, you know what? Chelsea Handler. She's wearing a fucking jumpsuit and sneakers. Let me check her out. And it's just abysmal.
Yeah, I feel like all that stuff is like it's so tight or whatever.
Say that one more time, please.
It's like my pussy's so tight. It's like all of it. And it's like it's disgusting.
You're not wrong. Honestly, you're not wrong. She made a joke about how big 50 Cent's dick was compared to Joe Coy, her other ex, and I was like, yeah, no shit.
For sure.
That's not funny because it's obvious.
Okay,
it's not funny at all.
Now I know what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah, you don't, Sophie. You don't strike me as a stand-up lover, but you like to laugh.
I love to laugh.
So we don't support stand-up as an art form, but what about when like a bunch of fucking trust fund kids take over a Burger King to read their poems? What do you think about that form of stand-up?
I also don't support that.
No, we got to stop. We got to stop that shit. I can't, unless it's sanctioned by some sort of literary magazine and Dean Kissick's involved. The rest of it,
I don't even know about that.
I don't want a guerrilla reading.
Dean can't save him at this point, Chris. That's what we're saying.
I don't think so.
I don't like a guerrilla reading. Like, that is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't really like going to readings, even though I go to them basically all the time.
Okay. Are you forced to participate?
Why do you go them? Yeah, is it a social thing? Do you feel?
Well, it's like usually like I have one friend reading, and then it's like insanely rude to leave early, so then I just get stuck there.
I disagree, and I think this is something you should learn from me, if nothing else today.
Okay.
Leave whenever you want. No one actually cares. Like,
sure.
no one cares.
But when you go to a stand-up comedy show, it's a dark room. You sit in the back. You can kind of slink out in between people when you're clapping. When you're at a Burger King on 14th Street with the fucking fluorescent lights overhead, everyone knows when you leave.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
So it's a little bit more difficult. Another win for stand-up. And I can keep going all night.
Well, maybe I should get. I was rejected from every improv troupe at Oberlin, so I feel like it's kind of coming from a personal place for me.
How would you describe your personal style when you were at Oberlin?
Thanks for asking. I had like a purple bowler hat I wore all the time.
Okay.
And
was
like,
it okay?
Like Doc Martens with ribbons, and then like I did not like I was like not interested in looking sexy at all. I looked like fucking crazy.
Were you a lesbian at the time or no?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, cool. I had a feeling maybe that had. When you said Doc Martens with ribbons, it's a certain kind of sort of Tori Amos whimsical lesbian that I was imagining.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like, oh, like hang out with my girlfriend listening to Vampire Weekend.
Mm-hmm. Let's scissor to Vampy Weeks. Walk me through your eyebrow story through the years.
I've always had eyebrows, and then like last year, my friend who looks kind of like me bleached her eyebrows off, and then she was like, "Do you want to also do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
I've sort of always had eyebrows. Okay.
I consider the eyebrow bleaching or shaving to be it's interesting to me.
Cry for help.
Not necessarily a cry for help, but it has like some type of specific undertone to it that I can't identify, and I was hoping you might be able to lend some insight.
Well, I kind of did it because I think it makes me look like if Shelley Duvall had Jewish blood. So
fair enough. And
yeah.
Honestly, you're not wrong about that comparison.
Yeah.
I see it.
So I feel like it kind of was bringing me to that place, but I'm actually growing them out right now because I was bored of it.
Do you think Jason or I look like anyone? Does anyone come to mind when you look at our faces?
I'm not really good at that kind of thing.
Okay.
Whoever you guys think you look like, you look like.
That's so sick. Thank you. Because Brad Pitt, I do hear a lot, so it's really nice of you to say.
If that's what feels true to you, then it's true.
No, actually, 2 times in the last decade, a kind of older black woman that worked at a rental car place in Atlanta did say that to me, and I've kind of stuck with it since then.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Back when you had hair.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, somebody sent me a photo. It's like a photo of Bruce Willis in the '80s with Demi Moore, and it was a side profile, and it was almost the exact same physiognomy as you, Chris.
I'll take Bruce Willis in his prime, legendary stickman, famous rich actor. I'll take it.
Sure. Grizzled, good looks.
You don't want to look like aphasia Bruce Willis. That'd be sad.
No, I don't want to look like that. But I'm praying for Bruce, honestly. He's one of our greats, kind of. I think he was underappreciated. Yeah. I think those guys have to do some bad stuff as they get older to earn money because their lifestyle is so expensive.
The cigar budget, the Harley budget.
It's not, yeah, it's like they got 3 ex-wives, they got a bunch of kids, it's too much shit to pay for. They got to go do a movie that's a little, right-leaning. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, it's fine. I think that Wendy Williams is actually fine.
I think Wendy Williams is 100% fine. Free Wendy is what you're saying.
I feel like I've become like a real Wendy Williams truther recently.
I think the world has come around to that. But do you think Britney should be under conservatorship? I do.
I don't think that she should, but like she's like not. There's like something deeply wrong with her for sure.
Okay. So there's maybe not conservatorship, but something should.
Do you have a plan, a path to success for Britney? Have you considered what would work?
Well, I'm really enjoying all those videos of her on Instagram where she's in her leopard print thong dancing to R&B.
Okay, so you're saying that's not a cry for help. That's just classic.
It is a cry for help. But I am enjoying
So
it.
Even though it is a sign of declining mental and physical health and safety, you're still clapping along. I'm
still watching all of them and enjoying.
She's an entertainer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The quality of those videos is what's interesting to me. It does seem sort of like an Afghani kidnapping.
Yeah.
Kind of grease on the lens. You know what I mean? That I don't understand because I'm sure Britney Spears and her assistant have an iPhone 16. Like I'm sure the quality is pretty good.
It doesn't look good. there's something off about it, but I'm not really sure what it is. And maybe one day we'll learn, but probably not in like right now.
I feel like I thought she was gonna die because I think Justin Bieber is gonna die soon.
Yeah, his Lyme disease.
Yeah, they all have. Yeah,
I haven't heard that angle.
I've never put Lyme disease in my pipe and smoked it, but I guess you can.
I think he has Lyme disease. I also know that he famously had conjunctivitis, which he posted about on Instagram.
I'm not familiar with that. If you could fill me in, doctor.
I know that word.
Well, it just means pink eye.
Okay, so it's a wordy way to say pink eye. It's the medical term.
It's a medical term for pink eye.
I feel like Justin's had it a few times.
Yeah, I think he has pink eye all the time from smoke.
Yeah.
You know, kind of going in there.
That's what you do. This is why I don't share my blunts anymore.
Did you stop?
No, I just don't share.
That's nice.
I have a by myself meeting. How many boyfriends have you had, Sophie?
I guess it kind of depends, but I think I've had like 4 serious boyfriends and then like countless not serious boyfriends.
Sure.
Okay. What constitutes the difference? Is it just an amount of time?
Yeah, like monogamous relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many of those were in high school?
None. I was a virgin until I was almost 19.
Flex.
That's cool,
Thanks.
actually, because these high school guys aren't worth it anyway, you know?
I would have. I was so down, but none of them were interested in me. So I became a lesbian for a couple of years.
Okay. The lesbian thing wasn't a joke. You really did become a lesbian
Yeah,
for a couple of years.
I'm also not like a fake lesbian. Like I date women, but just not that often.
Okay. So are you upset that that's kind of trendy now, or do you feel like you started
well, I'm
it?
like, I don't think I started it, but I think that a lot of these people are not actually, they're just saying it because they think that it makes them seem interesting.
Oh, I agree completely.
So you're a bi-truther.
Yeah, I just think that it needs to be gatekept. I think that you can't identify as bisexual unless you like had sex with a woman.
I agree. Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker. I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No, I believe it, but I don't believe it. I don't think they like it.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they're doing it and it's working for the purpose they're trying to do it for, but I don't think they
Do you think
like
they're in
it.
a press relationship?
It's something along those lines. I don't think that they're big enough for someone to actually engineer it. You know what I mean? They're not. It's not. We heard a great rumor actually, and I want to break this here on How Long Gone. Speaking of celebrities, I want to tell me what you think about this. But
Okay.
yeah, this is big. So we've heard from a credible source yesterday.
Really cool that you're going to be here for this, Sophie.
I'm really excited.
This is a How Long Gone exclusive. That Michelle Obama is in a sexual relationship with comedian Kumail.
I don't know who that is.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani famously got buff on steroids to play went from nerd to hunk, and now he is apparently piping the first lady.
I know that Barack is with Jennifer Aniston, but I guess that's old news.
This is the whole thing. This is why this came up. Barack is piping Aniston, and they're trying to spin it like she's dating Pedro Pascal, known gay man.
Yeah.
You know, known he's gay as hell.
Absolutely.
So they're like, Pedro Pascal had a 3-hour dinner with Jennifer.
I'm not falling for that, child.
Yeah, he had a 3-hour dinner with Jennifer Aniston at Sunset Tower because they're trying to run interference on the Barack story. You don't believe it for a second, right, Sophie?
No. I feel like pretty
Okay.
confident. I have really good source for that. So
Oh, really?
So you're saying that I have a good source for Kumail and Michelle, and you have a good source for Jennifer and Barack. Is what you're saying.
absolutely, like really,
Who's your
like
Barack Obama source?
it's just a friend of mine who's the most well-connected person I've ever met. So
Okay, I believe it.
she's
I mean,
always saying that she has connections on the Hill.
okay.
Caitlin Phillips?
So Caitlin Phillips leaked the talk about war. I knew it was
Connections
her.
on the Hill. She's
No,
in all
it's
the
not
signal
her.
chats.
It's another glamorous woman that works in media.
That's okay. I believe you because I want to believe. But do you think it's bad optics for Barack to go snow bunny mode? Do you think do you think that's bad for him, or do you think that's kind of is showing his range?
I don't really think I have a comment on that.
Okay, you're lost. I mean, I think it's interesting for
As a fellow snow bunny, you're too close to it. You're in the eye of the bunny storm.
You're like, I don't talk about other snow bunnies. We do not do that. That's kind of the rule.
Okay, well, I guess the other part is Kumail is currently married and has been married to his wife for kind of a long time, and they famously broke out because they wrote a movie together called The Big Sick, where she
Yeah,
had
I
like
watched
a disease in real life, and they like got through it together. And now he's
I
like,
saw that film.
I'm gonna go fuck Big Mike.
I think that they're swinging.
Yeah, do you think it's an open, right?
Yeah.
No. It's no. It's a
You
classic.
you just think it's cheating.
No, it's a classic. We stayed together because of tragedy. We don't actually like each other, and it benefited us to be together. Like you can't leave someone when they have cancer or whatever. You know what I mean? That's
Watch
that's
me, bitch.
awful.
You can't
That's
leave someone
awful.
if they're doing like drone strikes in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. You can't do
Hold
that.
my
That's
beer.
bad.
I'll do it.
Jennifer, can you turn the TV down?
But also, there's certain things where it's like, would you do blank for the story? And it's like, babe, would you let me fuck our most beloved president of our generation for the story? It's kind of, it's just to hear what it's like. What was this house like?
No,
stuff like that.
I think stuff like that is not real. I don't feel like people actually do stuff like that. I don't think people are.
People definitely do stuff like that.
No,
Do stuff like
not-
what? Fuck?
I'm saying I don't think that anyone that's married is like, yeah, you can go fuck the former president so I
you
can
don't
hear
believe
about
in like
it.
a hall pass?
No, it's fake. That's fake. That's
Yeah,
invented
I
by
mean,
Hollywood.
definitely.
Hall pass.
That's
is
a hill
invented by
pass
Hollywood.
when you fuck a politician.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I guess it's different because everyone will all these NPCs in the world will say like, oh, my hall pass is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, cool, you work at a 7-Eleven in Wisconsin. I don't think you're ever going to really come face to face with Dua Lipa or whoever it may be. But when you are an Aniston or a Kumail and you are in these inner circles,
Let's not put Kumail in the same category as Aniston. He's
of course
I
not.
would
But
say-
they're both invited to the Hollywood cookout. They're in the
that's true. That's
Harley Pasternak is training them both. They're getting all the formulas and all the wristbands and
That's
biometer trackings. They have the ability, they have the access to cross that line and do the unthinkable.
Sophie, do you have a hill pass?
No.
Who are some of the most fuckable politicians out right now?
I don't know. Let me think for a second.
Take your time, hon.
Don Jr.?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, JD.
JD?
No,
Look,
honestly, JD's wife is really hot.
JD's wife is hot, and it's a problem
Yeah.
when women like that marry guys like him because it gives him this otherworldly confidence that he should not possess.
Yeah, he should not be with Usha Vance is like too hot for him.
It's true. It's like, what's her name? It's like Huma that was when what's her name? Huma that dated the guy who got in trouble for jerking off. Not Louis C.K.
Jeffrey Tubin?
Not Jeffrey. Not Jeffrey Tubin. We could keep going.
Huma's Tubin Ufa?
We could keep going.
Well, I feel like I might like Padma Lakshmi and then like Salman Rushdie, kind of like famous like what's going on there. Power couple.
I saw him recently at a restaurant.
Salman Rushdie.
Yeah, and it
You
was
gotta be
like,
careful. The fatwa is still active.
so I'm
Is
glad I
it?
wasn't sitting that close to him. That's
I think
good to
so.
know.
Yeah.
Chris was out of the splash zone.
I was out of the splash zone. I was luckily he
To
was
borrow
having
a
his,
water park term.
he was having his frog legs across the restaurant from me.
Where were you at?
Le Veau d'Or.
Oh, nice. I was taking some adult education French classes over there.
What do you mean by that?
The fuck is that?
I was at the Alliance Française taking French class. It's like across the street from the Vaudor.
Okay, are you taking French class because you love their historic culture, or do you have a reason beyond?
I like lived in Paris for a little bit, and I feel like my
Okay,
French is
Audrey
like
Hepburn, go off.
kind
Okay.
of bad, so I like want it to be good again.
Is this a refresher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, give us a few bars.
Are you glad that you learned French instead of Spanish?
I feel like it would be way more useful if I knew Spanish because I live in New York. I know like subway Spanish.
I've never heard that term before.
It's my favorite TikTok show. Subway takes in
well,
Espanol.
I just feel like it's like sorry, my cat.
Leaf blower. Okay, sorry.
You know what, Sophie? I'm going to say this. I'm not shocked that you have a cat.
Yeah,
If I'm keeping it a stack.
yeah, I have a cat.
Does this cat have a normal name or is it a peculiar one?
It's a peculiar name.
Go on.
Please.
It's not Nadja, but I just call her Naj.
Notch.
Can you
Naj.
Nadja?
Yeah,
I fuck with that.
Okay. What is that derived from?
it's from a Breton novel from the 1920s about a sad prostitute.
God damn
Okay.
it.
That is a much better answer than I thought you were going to give for that.
It's a little too highbrow, but
I would say
it's
yes.
okay because she's like really dumb, so it kind of evens out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like run into the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Not just a little cross-eyed.
Yeah.
yeah.
When you got how much did you get for your advance?
A lot.
Congratulations. Did you do any?
Thanks.
Did you buy anything? Was there a purchase? Big ticket item? Student debt, Birkin bag?
I've bought a couple of plane tickets to Paris at this point, and then some clothing items for sure.
Mhm.
I bought the Vaquera underwear skirt.
Okay. Vaquera is not expensive enough to classify as a big purchase.
What is the
Like
underwear
before that,
skirt?
like I was like a 26-year-old, had like no savings. So like spending $300 on an item of
That's
clothing
true.
to me was like baffling.
Okay, so is this a one book deal or do we got to do two?
That's a one book deal.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I have the option, so hopefully,
Sure.
hopefully
First
my
look.
book does. Hopefully my book does well, and I get to do it again.
I'm looking at this underwear skirt right now. It is it's very literal in that.
Jason and I were going to
description.
approach you about acquiring the rights to turn it into a podcast, but I guess that's
Totally.
probably already been
I can put you in touch with. I have like 5 agents. You can talk to any
several
of them.
agents. Oh, sure. I would love to talk to all. If we could get all 5 on
Yeah.
Zoom, that'd be great. I kind of
Are
like
you
to.
CAA, WME? Where you at?
Gersh.
Gersh.
Yeah.
I thought Gersh was a little more Hollywood.
Well, that's my film and TV, and then
Oh, you're
my,
okay,
my
okay,
literary is Sterling Lord.
Okay, so we're trying to sell this bad boy. We're trying to get this to be a neon motion picture, is what you're saying?
Absolutely, it seems like a book that would be very easily adaptable.
If it was rated NC-17, I don't know how we're gonna get
Yeah.
past some of that stuff. Who's starring?
Also,
Who's starring?
too much interior monologue. I don't know, like maybe someone who's like a gorgeous girl.
Mm-hmm. Like a really hot chick.
Yeah,
A really hot. I didn't know if you had an idea maybe of who.
I feel like Talia Ryder.
Talia Ryder?
Who?
Talia Ryder. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, that's not bad. She's not famous enough.
I don't want her to be famous.
I like her. I love The Sweet East,
Talia Ryder. Oh,
I'm
I
not
see
mad
it.
at that. I'm not mad at that.
Mhm.
but I don't know about director. I just feel like it has to be her.
So you think this book would be easily adaptable
No.
into a film? Okay.
Absolutely not. It's like I was thinking about it, and I was like, this would like have to be like Casino, because there's like so much like interior monologue,
Yeah.
but it would be like really bad. Like it wouldn't work.
You told your agent before you signed. You're like, look, I don't think this works at all, but if you want to take a shot at it, go for it.
I would love it if someone bought my film and TV rights. I think it would be an amazing movie, but it would have to be it would have to be a full rewrite.
Okay, would you want to
Okay.
participate?
So there's some good bones here, but it is a disaster in terms of screenplay. Okay.
Would you want to participate
bro.
in this, or would you want to hand it over?
I think I would want to participate for sure. I want to be in the room. I want to feel that
See,
energy.
that's problematic. I think that's problematic. Wait, are you a teacher? Is that real?
Yeah, I do. I teach at Columbia.
What do you teach?
I teach undergraduate creative writing.
Okay, so you got these rich little freaks coming in thinking they're going to be the next big thing, and you have to kind of keep them in check.
I love my students. I have nothing bad to say about them.
There's no way you love your students. 20-year-olds are awful.
Who's your least favorite student? Call them out.
Yeah, full name, please.
They're all perfect.
Are you teaching them more creativity than the writing part? I feel like your gift is really helping some squares turn into more oblong shapes, perhaps.
I think that my like main note is I'm like, this could be weirder. And they're all like, getting really excited.
Yeah, great. This
And
could
they're
be
like, how much
weirder.
are my parents paying for this bullshit?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't really know why anyone takes a creative writing class. I'm just like, I don't even know if it should exist. Like, I love it. Like, I love teaching.
Well,
but I'm
don't
like,
say that, Sophie. I mean, then you'd be out of a job. But I think,
yeah, exactly. I love teaching. I'm just like, I hope that they're getting something out of it.
Well, to me, it's interesting because I see somebody like you, and you're a unique creature, and you have a bit of a born this way. You can't teach whatever's going on with you, energy. Yet that is your job, teaching that. So,
Yeah.
is that something that you try to weigh with, or is that something where you've like learned like the literal process of teaching a normal person how to be more creative?
I think that like what I do is just like teach writing, and I think I'm like good at teaching writing. Like, I think I can like teach somebody how to be a better writer.
Okay. And now that you are published by a real publisher, are you able to ask for a raise or maybe tenure?
No, I don't really think that Columbia. I think I'm under the impression that like tenure, like someone has to like die. It's like a Supreme Court vacancy.
How many are there any famous professors right now or no?
The people who are like famous to me, but like I don't know, like
Okay.
Scott Galloway, ever heard of him, Chris?
I don't think Scott Galloway taking Scott Galloway's classes is a true waste of money, but I don't think isn't he at NYU?
I don't know who that is.
Same diff. He's like a finance bro podcaster guy. He was on the show a while ago, but
Oh, cool.
he either teaches at NYU or Columbia. I don't remember which one, but
Yeah, we're not in the same department.
He teaches guys how to how to be better. They got to get out of the crisis.
I could do that.
I believe I could. I think I have a lot to learn from you personally.
I think you did do that with this book.
I hope that guys get tips from it.
What are there tips in it?
Yeah, definitely.
What if you could maybe some of the top line tips?
Don't treat women awfully.
I think like it's mostly like you should probably tell your girlfriend to start taking bovine growth hormone.
That's a tip?
That is a tip.
If you smoke more crack.
That is actually that is a cool tip.
Yeah, smoke a little, put a little crack in that.
But
pipe.
you've never smoked crack.
I've never smoked crack before. I've done like no drugs.
That feels like nefarious advice from someone who hasn't used before. How do you respond?
I don't know. I just think that people know what works for them, and like for me, I just think it would be hot if a guy smoked crack.
Even though is part of that hotness knowing that his life is sort of being destroyed and he's okay with it?
Yeah, definitely.
But is it because you could save him? Like you want to drive him to rehab, or
No. Do you know that song "Who's Got the Crack" by the Moldy Peaches?
I'm proud to say I've never listened to a Moldy Peaches song. That was not for me, but I'm familiar with the band.
Well, I just like that song, so maybe like that.
Wow, you are a quintessential Moldy Peaches listener. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I
you
like
really
cool
are.
Music too. I just also make the Moldy Peaches.
I think some people think Moldy Peaches are cool. Not people I know.
No.
Moldy Peaches are cooler than many, many, many bands.
Well, they're cool because they've never had a good song, and that like is what makes you cool, kind of thing.
No,
is that what you mean?
They have good songs. I just don't think they're cool. I like that movie the guy made, The Wrong Ferrari, starring Macaulay Culkin.
Okay. What other music are you listening to?
I don't know, just like good music mostly.
Yeah, same. I couldn't agree more with that. Actually, I couldn't agree more with that. I didn't know if you had any other interesting indie leaning taste, because it would be cooler to me if you were like, I like Elton John, or whatever.
I love Led Zeppelin.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
I used to be a Pitchfork writer. I mean,
I know. That's why I'm asking you, because there's
kind of the only reason why you're on the pod, Sophie.
Yeah,
the
famous. I mean, there's many famous reviews, but I feel like the music could be literally anything. You don't give a shit about what the music is.
Yeah. Totally.
You're not doing much. You're just listening and then writing. You're not doing much research beforehand.
I feel like I do a little research, but there was a period of time where I was writing like 30 Pitchfork reviews a year, and I can't say that I was doing a lot of research for those ones.
30 a year, and those pay what, $25 each? So you're not really
Something
coming
like
away.
that. Yeah.
You're not coming away with a lot.
Okay, you've done. I'm going through right now. You did the Chanel Beads album, which we're both big
I love
fans
that record.
of.
I thought it was really good.
We got a 7.6, not bad.
But just to be clear, the way that the point system works is by committee. You merely write the
That's not how it works.
You give them the number?
I can't say what's in the secret
She can't
sauce,
pull back the
but
curtain.
That's just
why? Who
like,
cares?
I'm not, well, because then Jeremy will send me a text being like, don't talk about that on a podcast.
I thought I thought it was okay. I thought they at least tried to spin a story about it, but I guess it's
that is the story that they're spinning, but it's not true.
Okay, that's good. I mean, look, that's an answer in itself, really.
Yeah, do that.
I've never read. I don't really. I have to be honest. I don't really read Pitchfork reviews. I merely look at the number.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really read Pitchfork anymore because I don't really write music criticism anymore.
Yeah, I look at it for news stuff, but I just don't. I find that the number and like a lot of reviews, the number and the actual body of text can feel very different, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I mean, a lot of the body of the text is bad. So
have any relationships, friendships, or bridges been burned after you've reviewed something on Pitchfork?
Yeah, definitely, but I can't get into that here. Secret.
I know. I don't want you to.
I do. What do you mean? Which band hates you? Did Jack White punch you?
10 Tricks Point Never will not text me back.
Yeah, I've reviewed one of his records unfavorably, so not impossible.
Okay, that was my lucky guess.
Not impossible that he wouldn't text me back. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
Twin Shadow doesn't send you the Christmas card anymore.
Twin Shadow doesn't let me ride on the back of his motorcycle when I'm in LA.
That record really sucked. Sorry.
I love how you're like,
that.
and I'm not going to get into that. And I just named two, and you're like, that sucks. That record sucks. Actually, I was talking to my wife a couple days ago, and we were talking about how like country music has really taken over, and how like Stagecoach is more important than Coachella now in a lot of ways. And how like in like a get down or lay down kind of way, like are we going to adapt to the new country norm, or are we going to keep pushing against it? And I was thinking we should have, or Father John Misty should play it at Stagecoach this year instead of Coachella. Does that make more sense?
That seems like pretty like a natural thing for him to do. That wouldn't really surprise me that much.
I agree. I think that's a good idea. I would rather go to Stagecoach than Coachella.
I don't even know what Stagecoach is.
It's country Coachella, but like cool, like literally the same thing in the same place, and arguably bigger.
They do it the weekend after Coachella. They already have all the equipment and stages set up, and then they just bring in like Jelly Roll and Luke and Zach and all these people, huge country names, and they just play. And then Diplo does a rodeo, and they make like 10 times more money.
I wouldn't want to go to that, but I don't really go to music festivals. So
I had one last note and question on your character in the book, or the character in the book, was in high school Googling pictures of Alexa Chung and lots of boys on websites, and I wanted to know what boys you were Googling back then.
I was pretty into accidentally participating in child pornography on like chat roulette at that
time. Please expand on that, my friend.
Well, I was kind of like not sexually viable as a teenager, even though I look basically the same as I did, just like kind of like an adult version. But I was like really, like wanted to do stuff, so I just would like go on like chat roulette all the time and like sex guys.
Okay. Yeah. When you say I was not sexually viable, what does that mean exactly to you?
Well, I was like kind of social poison at my high school. Like was like kind of people who were being bullied, who they would bully would be me. Because it wasn't really like a school where there were like alts, and also I was just like kind of like a little autistic or something.
You don't say. Come on now.
So I had to.
I'm glad that we're able to laugh and have a good, positive, healthy attitude about this.
Yeah.
Know?
But
your scars tell a story.
It was a pretty bad time. I was like listening to Animal Collective on my iPod Touch, and sitting alone in like a hallway eating like a turkey sandwich my mom made me.
That sounds like Jason's dream day now, but I can understand how maybe that's bad in high school.
And you're kind of like doing like a Stevie Wonder dance in your head to the hypnotic rhythms.
Listening to Brother Sport and like wearing like a tutu.
Oh wow, I could see it now.
Mm-hmm. Let's get you to bed, Sophie. Okay, over here.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about? I mean, I was more so speaking of like what boys were you crushing on in your I want to be Alexa Chung era of whatever 2000.
Oh, like
9 or 12 or whatever that was.
Like 2010 through 2014.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like what famous people did I have a crush on? Like Michael Cera.
Wow, that's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Sarah's transformation into a man? Yay or nay?
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Thumbs down.
Nobody
okay.
likes that.
Yeah, I liked him when he was on Arrested Development. So sexy.
So sexy, she says. Okay, so Diplo doesn't have a chance, but Michael Cera, let's go.
Yeah, if you mess with Michael Cera.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is good. I mean, there's a lock for every key, as they say. So all of you Cera looking motherfuckers out there, don't
There's
give
women
up.
out there for you.
Some good pussy around the corner. Sophie Kemp's new book, Padadise Logic, is available everywhere. Thank you for doing the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Great. You have to do other stuff, and it's not going to be as fun as this. I'm telling you now. I've
done a ton of press, and this is the most fun.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that Terry Gross disappointed yet again.
Even if you're lying, I'll take it. Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Okay, bye guys.